Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Unlock the Keyboard. In this video, we're going to be covering Good News by Mac Miller. Beautiful piece of music. It's really lovely to play on the piano. It's perfect for the piano. And it's not too hard to play either. And I say that because there's one chord progression that you'll pick up quite quickly, I think. And once you pick it up, the chord progression is consistent throughout the whole song. The intro, the verse, and the chorus, they all have the same chord progression. So yeah, once you pick it up, it should be pretty smooth and natural from then on. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into it. And let's start with the chord progression. So this song is in the key of E major, which means that this chord here, E major, is our home position. This is where the song feels most at home, most grounded. And this is the chord that we're going to constantly be returning to in the chord progression, right? Just before we get started as well, this chord progression is kind of like a descending chord progression. So it starts on the E and then it descends down and down and down and down. And then it has a little turnaround and then goes back to the top again. And you'll see what I mean, okay? So we start on that E major and then we go down to this here, right? So I actually call this a B major chord in its first inversion because this is a B major, and if we just start it on the third of the B major, it's first inversion. And then we go down to this one here, C sharp minor 7, descends down again to a B major, root position because we got the root there, and then we go down to A major in its root position. Holds that for a bit of extra time, and then it jumps back up to the C sharp minor for the turnaround, and then G diminished 7 apparently. Hectic. That's really crazy. I love that chord. If you don't know much about diminished chords, they're repeatable patterns, right? So they go up in minor thirds. So from this G goes up a minor third to A sharp, from A sharp goes up a minor third to C sharp, minor third, minor third, minor third, minor third, minor third. It's a repeatable pattern, okay? That's how diminished chords work, but I won't belabor the point. Let's continue. So that's the chord progression. Now, the left hand is just playing like these, just these little thirds, right? And the right hand is picking up where that leaves off, which is here in this case, the fifth, which means that this is E major in its second inversion because it starts on the fifth, okay? And then that goes to the B in its root position for the right hand. And then when we go here, what we're doing is actually playing E major in its first inversion. Before I continue, I may as well mention that inversions, triads and their inversions is kind of like the main lesson that we can extract from the song. So if you're not familiar with inversions, this is a great place to learn about them and maybe start practicing them, right? So if you're maybe struggling with this already, a great way to practice inversions is literally to take the major chord, right, or any chord rather, and then just go up. First inversion, second inversion, root, then back down. And you can do that for any chord, and that way you're really going to start to get those inversions and the shapes of these inversions and how they feel on the keyboard in your fingers. And that way, next time you learn a song that has, triads and chords in their inversions, your fingers and your hands will know what to do because you will have practiced them. And so that's just going to help you unlock the keyboard faster. And that's the whole point. That's the reason why I teach you tutorials. I teach them from a base of like, yeah, I want to teach you the song so that you can play the song, but I also want to teach you some things that we can learn from the song, right? And the new name for this series is called Tune Quest, because I feel like each new tune that you learn is a quest for, ways that we can actually play the piano. You gain XP points when you learn a song. I'm sorry for the rant, but I'm stoked because that's the new kind of like direction and the purpose of this channel and why I teach tutorials. So anyway, let's continue, right? So E major, B major, first inversion. And so in the right hand here we've got this E major in its first inversion. And then we go B in its second inversion because the fifth is on the bottom. And then we go A. And then back up to that A thing. And then the diminished shape. Yeah, so that's pretty much the chord progression, and those are the shapes and the inversions that we're going to be using throughout the whole song. So if you've made it this far, you've pretty much done 80% of the work, maybe like 60, 70, 80% of the work. So yeah. Now, the intro, the reason why we're up here in this octave and not down here is because we want to start the song, the introduction, maybe up an octave so that we can, you know, start in a nice place and build dynamically as we proceed with the song, right? And so the left hand, as I said, is doing this thing. You could play it like this. That's one way you could do it. Or you could play it like this. Same notes, just a different idea, right? As for the right hand, we're using the same shapes, but we're making a melody from them by arpeggiating those notes, right? So this is the chord and the shape, and all we're doing is just going down. Same with this one, right? And then here, actually here it has a little bit of a while we're on that B major, and then here we're on the A, descend the A shape, back up here, descends that diminished shape. Yeah, so that's essentially the intro. That's it. Now, let's get into the song with the verse. Intro goes into the verse. Same chord progression, as I said. We're just doing something different with the left hand. We're doing a different left hand pattern. And the left hand pattern that we're doing is kind of like a stride thing, right? Where you play the root as an octave down here, and then you jump up and you play the triad or the chord. Okay, so that's essentially what we're going to be doing, and we're doing that because this is like a solo piano performance and tutorial, and when you were playing solo piano, we want to cover the broad range that the piano can reach, right? So by doing this, it allows us to reach the bass and also the mid range while we're playing a melody. So that covers like 3 bases. So bass, chord, bass, chord, like that. A in its inversion, C sharp, G diminished, like that. Now that's basically the left hand pattern that we're going to be using for the verse and the chorus, and for the rest of the song actually. I'm sorry if you can hear a siren. There's a siren. I live in the city. There's so many sirens all the time. There's at least like 5 a day. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll continue. So let's play the left hand. So actually, before we get into the left hand, which is covering the melody, I just wanted to say a quick thing about the melody. There's a lot of different melodic ideas in the song, in the verse, in the verses rather. And I'm not actually going to teach them all to you in this tutorial. I'm just going to teach the main melodic idea that I plucked from the first verse and the main melodic idea that I got from the second verse. I'm going to teach those so that we're not spending literally an hour just teaching you the melody. If you did want to learn the melody for yourself, I really implore you to learn it by ear. And it's actually much more simple than you might expect. and I'll show you exactly why. All of the melodies from the song originate from the E major pentatonic scale. If you're not familiar with that, that's okay. Pentatonic scale is a 5-note scale. So the E major one looks like this. Literally 5 notes. 3, 4, 5. And then it goes back up to the E. And then back down. So it's a nice and easy scale. It's just 5 notes. And as I said, if you want to learn the other melodies of the song, try learn it by ear. And it's not too difficult because you're only trying to hear one of those 5 notes at any given time. So it just makes it a lot easier. And I hope that if you did want to learn those, it does make it easier for you. Okay, so with that said, let's play the first melody from the first verse that I thought was really interesting. So it sounds like this. In isolation. So that's the verse melody, and then of course there's that turnaround thing that's like this. Just a quick note on that turnaround. Play this every time it happens, right? So the chord progression descends down to that A, and then when you come back up, every single time, do this. Because that's how the song is, and I find that it's such a cute little thing, and it carries almost like the character of this piece of music in it, you know. Yeah, so hopefully you picked up that first verse melody. Let me now teach you the main melodic idea that I got from the second verse, and it sounds like this. Turnaround thing. Now we'll play the same thing up an octave. Oops, I messed up there. Turnaround thing. Yeah, so now I hope you can see that all of these melodies, they're all from these same 5 notes. The E major pentatonic scale, right? So in isolation, this one looks like this. Nice and simple. And again, if you voice is cracking. I'm so stoked. So as I was saying, the E major pentatonic scale, literally, if you just practice that up and down a few times, maybe you could do this to warm up tomorrow or something before you tackle this song. Like that. If you do that a couple of times, it'll start to become familiar, and these melodies will become much easier to play because it's literally just those notes. Yeah, so that's the verse. I hope that you can like replay those sections and learn them exactly. Let me play it to you. No, I've already played it to you. You can just go back and see it if you need to. I'm still trying to learn how to make these tutorials because I'm still quite new to it. So on that note, actually, if you're finding this valuable and useful, please let me know. I don't know how these are performing unless like I have comments to read. So give me all of your feedback. I'm trying to make these the best tutorials that I can make them. As I said, the new purpose of this is Tune Quest, right? I know, I think it's kind of cute, okay? I love video games, okay? That's where it comes from. And the whole point is we want to gamify the learning process. We want to make it fun. It's like a game, okay? So each new tune that you learn, you're going to gain XP. And the XP that we've already gained from this tune is the triads and their inversions and this E major pentatonic scale. And if you go forth and practice those, it'll help you unlock the keyboard. So yeah, please let me know what you think of that idea, and let me know what you want to see from tutorials, what you don't want to see. Am I literally just rambling on too much? I need to know. If I don't have any comments, I don't know. And if you are finding it really helpful, please also like the video. It really helps get the video in the algorithm. And subscribe to the channel, because I'll be making a lot more tutorials. And let me know what songs you want me to cover as well. I can cover them. Okay, let's get on. All we have left is actually the chorus. And again, it's the same left-hand pattern that we've already covered. So it's just a matter of learning a melody. And also for a chorus, we like to play with a little bit more energy as well. So bear that in mind. So it sounds like this. Oh, good news, good news, good news is all I want to hear. The chorus melody is in 2 parts. And the first part is that descending. It's just like, I'm not going to sing it, I'll play it instead. Turn around. Let me play that again. This time with the thumb pressing on this B the whole time, okay? See how that sounds. So yeah, I literally just played that B every time I played a melody note. So I'm actually doing the same thing for the second part to this chorus melody, which goes like this. Also, I'm sorry if it's glitching, that's just the computer being weird. Yeah, so again in isolation. Also notice that little flick thing? It's kind of like a grace note. It happens a few times in the song. You might have already picked up on that. So altogether, that chorus should sound like this. Yeah, so that is pretty much the song. Oh, there's one more thing that I'm doing there actually to create some rhythmic intrigue, because like I said, I've got that thumb there, right? And I'm doing that to add some harmonic intrigue. Now, what I'm doing to add some rhythmic intrigue, if you were interested and if you wanted to, like, you know, make it feel a little bit more groovy, is you might notice. Right, I'm coming in on that C sharp and that B just slightly earlier than is expected, right? And this is what we call playing on the and. And if you're not familiar with the and, this song is in 4/4, right? 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. So that's playing on the and, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and between those notes and beats, you've got an and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And basically, I'm playing that C sharp and that B on the and before it would normally come in, right? So it's like this. It's just something I did when I covered the song, and maybe it's something you want to do too, but I thought I'd show that to you anyway because I think it's quite cool. yeah, that is pretty much the end of the tutorial. I hope that you got some value from this. I hope that you extracted the XP from this quest. Please let me know what you think of that idea. I'm pretty stoked about it. I'm gonna keep going with it. So yeah, just let me know. Please send your feedback as well about these tutorials. I want to make them the best that they can be. If you are new to Unlock the Keyboard, it's my online keyboard coaching program and service. I have an online community on school.com which is completely for free. I'll leave a link for that below. If you want to check it out, you can jump in there and let's build a community around this thing. I'm also creating a completely free online course which is gonna be out in a couple of months, so stay tuned for that. Leave a comment for some songs you want to see. I'm happy. I want to do tutorials and tune questing for plenty of songs, most of the cool songs at least. If you want to see more Mac Miller, I'd love to do more Mac Miller. Please let me know which ones you want to see. Okay, I'm just rambling now. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Vibe and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next Tune Quest. Peace.